Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Tea. For this holiday season, we're actually drinking hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate and me.
So hot chocolate and hot chocolate. And as the end of the year is approaching, we've decided to devote this last episode of the year to reflecting on 2021. In some regards, it was a little better than 2020, but for some people, it might have been even more challenging than 2020 with the global pandemic, the coronavirus, that is still a topic of discussion and still takes part in our lives, and how it is influencing still impacting the work in the studio, the creative work. Do you want to start sharing your thoughts on this?
It's been a year like no other.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first half of the year was still pretty much locked down. It's the second half of this year that things have opened up a little bit with
During the summer,
people getting vaccinated, etc. And it's kind of weird and ironic in a way. It seems to me that when at the beginning of the COVID, the first year, the guidelines were very strict, and it was clear what we could and could not do in terms of social distancing, in terms of keeping our distance from everyone, but also, the guidelines were very clear. And so we used that time to be here often in the studio and just living our lives. And it felt like a kind of a friendly house arrest for me. It's like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not meeting anyone or greeting anyone or doing anything. I'm going to be here. We just resigned. It was a time of resignation.
2020, you mean?
The
beginning of 2021.
And the beginning of 2021 of this year. So it was like really clear that we were resigned. This is my point. We were resigned. And we made do. And part of it really had a silver lining. I was in the studio a lot. We were able to pivot using the internet and making the online courses that we did. So it actually proved for us on certain levels to be advantageous. On the other hand, we missed our friends. We missed being able to socialize. The second half now is getting strange because now we have gray zones.
Well, there was a spring and the summer where things were opening up and we were going out more and we were finally seeing more of friends and maybe family.
Socializing.
People started traveling. So there was a little bit of more movement in the beginning, the mid part of this year. And then comes late summer with a new variant, everything started shutting down again, more or less depending on where you live in the world. Australia had the 6th lockdown. Europe is now in the 2nd big lockdown. Well, maybe it's even the 3rd. I can't keep track anymore. And I know that for some people, this second wave has in a way been harder than the first one, because we were just getting our hopes a little bit warmed up, and then we had the second wave and the second shutdown. And I know that some people have been struggling with their studio practice now, with this transition. It's like, okay, I'm opening up a little bit more to the world, so maybe I don't have as much time in the studio as I did in 2020 when everyone was home, right? So there is that shift. Again, another, getting used to, right? A new pace in life.
Assimilating.
And then for some people, this second wave or 3rd or 6th, so whichever it is, really, in a way shut them down. I don't know how to say this.
For some, it really had an impact.
And it's been hard on some people.
Of course. So, that's what we're here to discuss a little bit, is how, just to discuss how has this year been for us, for you? How have we been impacted? And I think there's been sort of a spectrum, if you will, from people who have really capitalized, if you will, on this chapter in the studio and really made use of this time, versus the other end of the spectrum, Maria, which is, I don't have the energy, I don't have the drive, I just don't have the desire, I just feel like I need to take care of myself, I need to relax, read books, take long walks, watch TV, cook, eat, you know, take care of myself. And I think that's not just okay. I think for many of us, it's necessary.
Yeah, I think that what I wanted to offer as a perspective or a point of view would be to use maybe this time where we feel shut down, depressed, unhappy, uncertain, scared, disappointed, frustrated, and renaming it into taking a break. Let's take another break.
Yet another.
Let's take another break. Enjoy the holiday season.
Right.
I know that trips are being canceled. I know that people were hoping to meet with their loved ones, take a trip.
Yes.
And now, you know, certain countries are again being banned. Travelers are being banned. So I know that for some, this might be a time again of disappointment.
But here in the States, Maria, a lot of people are deciding to weigh their odds, to make whatever calculated risks they want and need to make to be with family, to be with friends, to socialize. We're having friends over for dinner. Yes. We're checking with them to make sure everyone's safe. I mean, that's where we are. So we are in actually a good transitional area, as challenging as it can be because of the shades of gray. People are changing now, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
In terms of studio practice, for some, including myself, it's a time to re-energize in a way, and then we have extra juice for being back in our work. So I think that's important.
Yeah. So when I say taking a break, it can also be used to replenish yourself.
Right.
And saying, well, you know, I will sleep a little bit more and just enjoy the fact that I can sleep in, or I'm going to read a little bit more and enjoy that because I'm going to actively be aware and use it as an inspiration for the work that is going to come up. I think there's a little bit of that shift in attitude, like, what can I do? Everything that I'm doing, can I pay a little bit more attention to it, and can I use it as inspiration? Maybe I'll make some notes, maybe, you know, even if it's just mental notes, but maybe write it down or make little sketches or just put out some ideas that I know later on when I'm ready, I'm going to go in the studio and make something out of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to share, like for you personally? How do you feel at the end of this year, and what are your thoughts and desires for next year, or plans? Anything
Well, we just celebrated Thanksgiving in a fashion. My family's all back east, so I unfortunately am not able to be with my family during Thanksgiving, but we were able to invite a close friend over and make a nice meal, because I also think of Thanksgiving as a time for friends as well as family. And so, me personally, since you've asked, the holidays are always a moment of reflection, given my past history and traditions, and tradition is powerful, as you know. So for the holiday seasons, it's a time for reflection. Here we are at the end of the year. In terms of what I'm thinking about, well, you and I are planning a trip, and we're going to go to New York for a period of time, which I'm very excited about. We're making
hope it's going to happen.
We're making that calculated risk to get on a plane, to mask ourselves. I've had my booster, etc. But to answer your question, I'm looking forward to our trip to New York because it's going to be very inspirational, exciting, lots of great artwork to see. It's a fantastic city. We're going to immerse ourselves in the life of New York for a few weeks, and that's really exciting. And I'm looking forward to that. When I come back from that trip, I'm going to be re-energized. I'm going to be excited to get back in the studio. I'm in there anyway, but to get back in there with a new, push, if you will.
And I've never been to New York, so I'm also looking forward, hoping that it will still happen because with COVID again, no one knows what's going to happen in a month.
At the last minute.
But hoping that we will be there. We're looking forward to the museum visits. Less people in the museums, less crowds, which
Yes.
is a good thing.
And just walking the streets and
just
taking
enjoying,
in the area.
Yes, definitely. It's our first big trip since COVID started.
Yes.
And yeah, anything else
Well,
you wish for next year?
Good health.
Yeah.
Good health, always good health. And the health and safety of my friends and family. You see, that matters to me. That matters. And I'm looking forward to teaching again in the spring, both at CCA, the college where I teach at, but also we're developing a new course, if I can put a plug in here.
Sure.
The language of design. We've done the language of color. I'm sorry, we've done the language of color, the language of design, but now we're going to be doing the language of drawing this whole next year. So much of 2022 for us will be developing a new course online, the language of drawing, and I'm very excited about that.
And why are you excited? That's
Because
what I
drawing
wanna
is my first love. My first love is drawing. And I love teaching it. I love doing it. It's in my DNA. And lots of people, I think, would like to know more about the art of drawing.
So, since we're on the subject, do you have in your head an idea of how you want to teach it? Is it going to be for figurative people who work from observation, abstract? Do people who work abstract need drawing? Like, how are you formulating this in your head? How are you going to teach this? Because for me, I'm sorry, drawing is like, I'm going to draw an apple, I'm going to draw a figure, I'm going to draw anatomy.
Yes.
So something, give me some specific things, but not everyone wants to do that.
Correct. It will, in all honesty, be the combination of learning to draw from observation, but in doing so, one must learn to see abstractly. So I make the connection between those. So if you're going to draw, let's say, an object of some sort, even a complicated leaf, let's say, it's all about seeing. So if I had a subtitle for the art of drawing, the language of drawing, it would be the art of seeing.
Oh, we already used that for the language of design. Sorry,
Well,
it.
it's okay, it's all connected. But to answer your question, yes, they'll be drawing from observation, but in doing so, people are going to learn to see abstractly, and they can bring that into the studio practice whatever way they want.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward
There's
also
the plug.
to see how this mastermind develops the course on drawing. But yes, that's going to be our big project for next year. And I am personally hoping that we will travel more next year. I really, really, really hope that we will find some sense of balance in this whole COVID thing, and that things will have some sense of predictability so that we can plan ahead and be more free to move around.
Yeah.
But other than that, in terms of the end of the year, it's for me, it's always a time to slow down. I'm really happy that I can wear a sweater finally. It's not that hot, and yeah, it's just time to slow down. We were joking the other day because it gets dark sooner, and I said it's perfect. We can do nothing earlier in the day. It's a great excuse
Whatever
to just
that
like
means.
end the day at 5:30, and I'm really enjoying that part of this season.
The coziness of it all.
Totally. That's why we're on the couch,
Yeah.
very cozy.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just say hi one more time in this year.
Yes.
We wanted
Best to you all.
wish you health, creativity, connections,
Fulfillment.
love, fulfillment.
Safety.
Yes. In 2022, coming up, I have to get used to saying that.
Right.
And we just wanted to say that we are extremely grateful for the community that has been created online. Hopefully at some point we will get to meet more and more of you in person. We have actually met some people in person
Yes.
that we've only known online
Really exciting.
until now, which was amazing. And so we are really hoping that 2022 is going to bring more of those in-person connections and interactions.
Yeah.
But for now, through the screen, much love from the couch in Benicia, California.
Yeah.
to all of you, and looking forward to interacting with you in 2022 as well.
Yeah. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Early. Ciao.